He was teaching of the story of Jacob, how Jacob wrestled with the Lord and he prevailed in Genesis 32 when he was left alone. And unfortunately, the dear minister got the doctrine wrong and misled the people into thinking that it was a place of actually fighting for your miracle, as though you're telling God, you either get me out of this or you get me out of this. You know that kind of anger? You either heal me or you heal me. I'm tired of being sick. God. So that's the atmosphere and the impression that way it was raised in the service. And after that, the preacher told people, now stand up, we are going to fight with God. My God. And you know, Africans are expressive. You find somebody in the corner and like, I don't know whether he's punching God or he's punching the circumstance, I don't know. But you could see that there was war. I will not let you go until you bless me. Now, do you know the impression? I'm not going to go. That's the line seems so beautiful, but it's ignorant and misled. Tell God, I'm not letting you go until I see my marriage. I'm not letting you go until I get that job. I'm not letting you go until I get that business. I'm not letting you go until I get the visa. I'm not letting you go until I get the breakthrough. I'm not letting you go. Am I preaching to somebody? Then you see the old women standing up like this. Samala. Never do it. That's not the attitude. The Bible says the wrath of man worketh not righteousness. God is not in any right affair if you come with anger. Listen, Hosea amplified this and gave us the true experience of what the man of God went through, to help you understand that this was not a man literally fighting with God. He says in Hosea chapter 12 verses 3, the Amplified Version, now he's talking about Jacob. He says he took his brother by the heel in their mother's womb, and in the strength of his manhood he contended and had power with God. In the strength of his manhood he contended and had power with God. The next verse tells us how he contended. Yes, the Bible says he had power over the angel of the Lord and he prevailed. How did he prevail, or how did he have power? The Bible says he wept and sought for his favor. He sought his favor. He met him in Bethel, and there God spoke with him and through him with us. Listen, he sought for that place in tears. He was a man praying, pleading, asking. Do you understand the difference? It's like if a parent has authority over a child, this child is maybe 5 years old, okay? And the child wants to go out of the gate, and the parent doesn't want that child to go. And then he holds this child's shirt or clothes and says, don't go out, and the two start fighting, right? It's different from a child who's holding their mother because their mother is leaving and they are fighting that mama should not leave them. You know the difference? There's a difference. Because really, they know they cannot stop their mother. This is a child in pain pleading, you can't leave me. And she's crying, holding her mother, you can't leave me, please don't leave me, you can't leave me. Now, you can say they wrestled, but you must understand the context. This was as one pleading with one who was stronger, not as a mother who is fighting with a child saying, I've refused you to go. Some Christians get it the other way around, and they think they're fighting with a God whom they can prevail over. This man was not fighting with Jacob because he wanted to weigh Jacob's strength. No, this was a question on the character of the spirit of Jacob. I wish I have time next time to explain it. It was a test on the character, on the spirit of Jacob, the essence of his alignment to the assignment of God, to see whether he was ready for what God wanted to release on his life. That is why after God discerns that he has ascended to that place of receiving, the Bible says the man touches the hip of Jacob, and Jacob becomes crippled. He limps. Now, the Bible is clear. Read Genesis 32:25. It says, and when he saw that he had prevailed not against him, he touched the hollow of his thigh. He didn't beat his thigh. After a long struggle, and he realized, okay, this man's spirit is aggressive enough to receive what God wanted to invite Jacob to a place. And when he saw that Jacob is resilient and committed and sturdy enough to take on that grace, he says, okay, let's end the fight. What did he do? He touched the hollow of his thigh. He just touched him. The Bible says, and Jacob's thigh was out of joint, and he stopped fighting. Now, imagine the power that can just touch you and your thigh goes out of order. Was it really a fight? Answer me. Was it really a fight? Were we really fighting here? If somebody can touch you and your joint comes out of order, what if they punch you? Won't your thigh disappear? At least it will be normal. They'll say he never had a thigh in the first place. And imagine that little touch, the scriptures tell us, made Jacob limp all his life. All his life. All his life, because he was touched. It's not a place of fighting.